new launch versus resale. Okay, what's the price gap? Okay, what's the price gap? Okay, let me go through some of the facts and figures later. Okay, I believe many consumers now on the ground is watching the whole market. Okay, looking at the prices. Okay, going higher, higher, and higher. When will there be an end to this high price? Okay, without further delay, let's look at some of the pointers. Okay, just a bit of my background here. Okay, I co-founded this PropertyNet.SG portal. Okay, basically the focus here is I want to give unbiased property facts and figures to all consumers, okay, including agents out there. Okay, with proper facts and figures, we can actually advise and actually enter the market in a very, very safe manner. Okay, personally, I'm also a team leader, okay, managing a group of 500 agents in ERA. Okay, a bit of disclaimer here. All my data collected is accurate as of today, all right? So moving forward, if the market sentiments change, of course, the trends will change accordingly, okay? Okay, so the question here today, what's the price gap? Okay, some of the news that was just recent, okay? Pasir Ris 8 sells 85% of the units, okay, on launch day, up to 2,000 per square foot, okay, up to $2,000 per square foot. All right, so people will be thinking, hey, did I go in at a price that is not safe entry price? All right, so later part I will share with you how to actually look at the price gap, whether is it still a good price to go in or not. Okay. Then we also see just on August 31st, okay, we have this Water Gardens launch, okay, 60% sold on the launch day itself, all right? So the market is very bullish, right? From all the news we see are very bullish. New launches, very bullish, all right? Never that, immediately after the Water Gardens launch, next day, okay, there's this announcement, higher development charge rates for residential use, okay? So the rates are, if you look at it, right, this part here, okay, especially look at this 10.9% here for non-landed, okay, which means all the new launches, all right, if they are going to develop 6 months down the road, okay, they'll be following these new DC charges, okay, meaning the price of the future launches will be definitely be higher, right? And then on the September 6th, okay, another news article came in, okay, construction costs, okay, the raw material prices to stay high, okay, supply chain, okay, shipping disruptions, all these disruptions came in, okay. So with all this, and when we look at second quarter property price index, okay, if you compare 213, which was our last peak, right, and actually at our second quarter of this 2021, we have already went past our previous peak already, all right? So this is one thing that we need to be alert already, all right? Went past the previous peak. So the prices keep going higher, all right? Prices keep going higher. So what's the price gap for safe entry? Okay, should I choose a new or should I go for a resale? Since now the new launches prices are confirmed going to go higher and higher. Okay, so with this question in mind, okay, we all as consumers out there buying properties, okay, we also want to make sure that all our hard-earned money, okay, will not go down the drain, right? So we need to make sure that whatever we buy today will appreciate in the long run, all right? So further slides, I will share how to actually look into the price gaps, okay, to determine whether you should buy a new or a resale. Okay, so basically, there are two price gaps to watch, okay, for this whole sharing session. Okay, we are going to look at freehold versus leasehold gap. Okay, what is the gap? And then we're also looking at this new launch versus resale gap. Okay, with these two price gaps, once you know how to watch the trend and look at the gaps, okay, I would say that every property that we buy, right, is sure win, okay, sure win. Okay, so the gap number one, okay, freehold versus leasehold. Let's look at the past 25 years trend, okay. When I pull out this trend for the past 25 years, leasehold, okay, versus freehold, when you look at the trend, okay, so the gap is quite parallel, okay. Overall Singapore trend, the gap between the leasehold price and the freehold price is 22%, okay. So let's say if we are buying a new launch today, okay, let's say the property is a freehold property. Let's say you're buying a freehold property today. Okay, so when you pull out the past data, right, you pull out all the past data, then you add in a 20% loading to it, okay. Then you can see, is it the correct price gap to buy in? Okay, so these will be some of the pointers that we need to look at. So later part, I will share some examples to let you understand better how to actually look into the gaps, all right? Okay, so for freehold versus leasehold, when we look at it, okay, it shouldn't cross this 22% price gap. Okay, now when we compare new launch versus resale, okay, what should be the price gap that we are looking at? Okay, so for new launch versus resale, okay, whole of Singapore over a 25 years trend, okay. So let's say in year 1995, long way before like our parents' era, all this, okay. So they are buying the properties, right? You see the new launch and versus the resale, right? The gap is only 20%. But now in current market, right? Because of all the land sales getting higher and higher price, okay, construction costs, all this all priced in, you can see that the gap between the new sale and the resale has widened, okay. Now the gap is about 49%, okay. This gap is already widened to 49%, okay. So that said, if you talk about just looking at this trend, okay, if you look at this portion here, okay, and you look at all this portion here, right? If you look at it, all these are the widening portion. These are the widening portion, okay. And there will be time whereby it will just come together, okay. They will all crisscross together. So the resale will definitely along the way will chase up with the new launch price, all right. Because if the new sale keep going up in terms of prices, okay, people will be looking at resale already, because no point keep going for new, because you're paying a higher and higher quantum, all right. So that's where the resale will actually chase and close up the gap. So this gap, we are going to watch it very closely, okay. So when we look at new launches, okay, it should not go beyond 49% price gap, okay. So knowing these two gaps, 22% for freehold versus leasehold, and then 49% for new versus resale, okay. So we know these price gaps. So how are we going to use it to our advantage, all right? When to buy a resale and when to buy a new launch, okay? With these two price gap, I'm going to share with you how to actually look into this, okay? So let's go through some of the considerations, okay, before we go like new launch or resale. Okay, basically now in the market, everybody will be telling you to buy a new launch, okay, because the new launch price, if you're buying today, definitely further down the road, when you buy the new launch later at the later stage, definitely the price will be higher. Okay, so they will tell you, oh, must buy new launch, must buy new launch. If you don't buy today, tomorrow's new launch price will be higher than today. So everybody is being sort of driven in that direction of keep buying new launch. But have we actually forgot all about resale? Okay, so with my earlier two price gaps to watch, right? You'll be very clear. Today, should I buy a new launch or today should I buy a resale? All right. Let's look at the slides. Okay, let's look at this Ang Mo Kio itself. Okay, Ang Mo Kio itself, just to pinpoint these two projects over here. Okay, one is a Grandeur 8 resale many years back. Okay, Grandeur 8 condo versus these central residences. All right. So during then, right? Okay, when we look at the years 2005 and then there's this 2014. Okay, when we look at the prices, okay, you look at the initial part. Okay, when this new launch came out in the market, okay, this new launch came out in the market, okay, average at 1,181 per square foot. And then when we look at the resale market at the Grandeur 8, right, it's only 700 per square foot. So when we look at the gap, okay, it is 69%. Okay, earlier when I shared, what was the gap? Okay, it was the overall trend, right, was only like 49% for the past 25 years. So looking at such launches at this kind of price gap, right, this new launch at that moment, right, at this moment in time, you shouldn't be looking at this new launch. Okay, you should be looking at the resale. Okay, because if you look at the end part, right, as in today when I pull out the numbers, you can see that this price gap actually closes up. Okay, now the gap is about 42%. Okay, so now if you ask me, should I buy Central or should I buy Grandeur 8? I would say for the lease. Okay, for that lease, because for Central residences the lease is longer. Okay, the lease is longer. Definitely now with a smaller price gap at 42%, I will go in to get Central. So this is how you use the price gap to actually judge, okay, when should I buy a resale and when should I buy a new launch. All right, okay, let me share with you more examples. Okay, so for this above scenario, resale win the game. All right, resale win. Okay, because the initial gap is already far beyond 49%. So it is a clear indicator that the resale will actually chase and close up the gap. Okay, so in order to benefit the most, right, go and get the resale. So because the resale will chase up the gap. All right, next, I'm going to bring you to Dairy Farm. Okay, Dairy Farm residences over here. This is a new launch. Okay, over here you have four other resale. Okay, 4 other resale properties. Okay, so we have Skywoods Forest Residences, Treehouse Eco Sanctuary. Okay, versus a new launch Dairy Farm Residences. Okay, so this one you look at it. New launch going to be ready TOP in 2024. All right. So when you look at all these comparables, we are comparing. When we compare, we need to compare as close as possible. That means apple to apple comparison. We don't want to take apple and orange to compare, okay, because they're not comparable. So we try to put all the 99 years and the newer one together, compared to a brand new launch. Okay, so that's how we're going to look at it. Okay. So when we look at this, you can see from here. Okay, this is Dairy Farm. Okay, Dairy Farm. Okay, this one. Okay. And below all this are all the resale. Okay. So the average resale that's moving, right, is around 1152 per square foot. Okay. And this Dairy Farm average per square foot, okay, launched at 1608. Okay. Looking at the gap, okay, it is at 40%. Okay, this gap here. Okay, when you calculate out, it's 40%. Okay, when we look at this gap, 40%. And if you remember the golden number, 49%. Okay, so we are way below the 49%. So if you ask me, this is actually a safe entry price. Safe entry price. Okay, in current market, this is safe entry price. And when you look at these attributes of these Dairy Farm residences compared to the other 4 resale condos, this is actually a mixed development. Okay, it has some shops below. Okay, so it actually adds value to the property itself. Okay, so for this particular scenario, okay, the new launch wins. Okay, the gap is smaller than 49. Okay, and it is there are plus points. Okay, normally plus points I will look at whether is it integrated or mixed development. Okay, or whether there are schools. Okay, schools beside, and whether is it near the MRT. Okay, so basically these 3 attributes, right, will give you more points to whether to buy or not to buy. All right. Okay, next I'm moving on to Canberra. Okay, we move on to Canberra. Canberra, so there's a new launch one, the Water Gardens at Canberra. Okay, 60% sold on launch day. Okay, people are thinking, wow, at that price, how come people still buy in? Okay, basically same scenario. Okay, let's look at the comparables. Okay, we have 2 ECs over here. Okay, this is the brownstone. Okay, this is the brownstone EC. Okay, this is the one Canberra EC. So there are 2 ECs inside here, and 3 other resale condo. Okay, I'm going to bring you into another section to see, because when I bring in ECs, there'll be more considerations and what are the price point that we need to look at. All right. Okay, so looking at it now, okay, we have resale condo, 3 resale condo. These 2 are ECs. Okay. All right. So if you look at the years, okay, they are pretty new, okay, within these 10 years, all right, and their sizes are comparable, okay. So when we compare, right, we usually put projects that are comparable together and then we analyze, all right. Okay, so when we look at this, all right, you take note of this brownstone and this one Canberra. These two are ECs. You look at the colors, okay. So of course the price when they launch, okay, for ECs definitely, okay, cheaper than resale. Okay, you can look at it, the gap. Okay, definitely cheaper than resale. All right, okay, cheaper than your private condo, definitely. Okay, and now they are averaging around 1,042 per square foot. Okay, so when we compare to the Water Gardens, okay, they already announced before they launch, okay, they already announced that they're going to be launching at 1,450 on average per square foot. So when we calculate the gap, okay, the gap is just a 39% increment in the average per square foot. That's why for this particular launch, right, it is actually very safe to enter, okay, and that's why, okay, this new launch was sold 60% on the day of launch, right? And that's it, because there's also plus points for this, okay, it's actually pretty near the MRT, right? Okay, and then one more area that I want to bring you is Bukit Timah, okay, Bukit Timah. Okay, Bukit Timah, I want to show you a mix of this Bukit Timah, because Bukit Timah, they are 99 years and they are also freehold, okay? So with this example, I want to share with you how to actually see the price gap between a freehold and a leasehold, and you put them into a new launch, okay, whether is it good buy or not, okay? This example will be very good for you to understand, okay? So I picked up four comparables, okay? So we have new launch, 4th Avenue Residences. We also have Royal Green, new launch, okay? And the difference here is this, take note, okay? For 4th Avenue Residences, this is a 99-year leasehold, and the others are freehold. So when you have a 99-year in a freehold environment, how are you going to make your judgment, okay? Basically, fall back to where I shared earlier, the gaps, okay, the price gaps. Okay, so when we look at this, okay, so we have Royal Green in this color, okay, and we have these 4th Avenue Residences in this color. Okay, you can see from the chart here, okay, for 99 years, okay, for 99 years new launch, it is average price higher than a freehold resale. So don't be taken aback. Hey, how come like that? Okay. So you bring what you have learned that I shared with you earlier on the price gaps. Then you feel that, oh, actually it is reasonable price. Okay, so when we compare the freehold one, okay, the freehold average at 1961, okay, average at 1961. And when we look at Royal Green freehold, okay, average at 2741 per square foot. So when we calculate these two gaps between the freehold new and the freehold resale, okay, the gap we see here is 40%, okay, 40%. So when we look at it, okay, 40%, definitely a safe entry price. Okay, so for Royal Green, we can buy. Then that's it. What about 99 years leasehold 4th Avenue? Should we buy or not? So what's the gap are we looking at now? So this one, we got to compare these two gaps here. Okay, the gap between the freehold new and the gap and the leasehold price point here. So these two, when we compare the gaps, right, it is 17%. Okay, 17%. So 17% is also lower than the 22% trend that I showed earlier, freehold versus leasehold trend. Okay, so looking at this, these two are actually good to go. Okay, they are still in a very good safe entry price, if you ask me. All right. Okay, so for this one, okay, the new launch wins, and not only that, okay, there are some additional points to actually help you. Okay, in terms of MRT, okay, there's MRT nearby. Okay, within 300 meters. So this actually will actually help you in this pricing. Okay. Now we have this safe entry price, and we have additional benefits like MRT, definitely this is a sort of, I would say, a no-brainer sort of entry. All right. Okay, so in summary, that two price gaps that I shared earlier, okay, do take note, okay, freehold versus leasehold, 22% gap, all right. And then when we look at new launch versus resale trend, right, the gap was 49% gap when we pull the 25 years trend. But as I said earlier, the gap has already widened quite a bit, okay. So if you ask me today, based on the earlier three comparisons that I shared earlier, we noticed that actually out of the three launches, the gaps never crossed beyond 40%. Okay, so if you want to be even more conservative, I will put the gap to be 40%. So if anything fall between 40%, I can still buy. Okay, it is still a very safe entry price. All right, so use the gaps for your own judgment. Okay, these gaps actually give you a good like a rule of thumb, or what you call it, the ruler. You use a ruler to go and measure. So these kind of things is measurable. We don't put too much of a feelings into such a judgment. Okay, we just strictly to the numbers. Okay, so in conclusion today, okay, new launches and the resale price gaps okay, you can see it widen. Okay, you also can see it closing up. Okay, now that it is widening, okay, widening already beyond, it's already 49%. It might go beyond, become 52% and even wider. Okay, so when it's widening, okay, do spend some time to check out the resale in the nearby vicinity. Okay, there might be good buy. Okay, so don't miss those good buys. Okay, therefore, what I want to say is here, it is not always 100% for new launches or 100% for resale. Okay, we need to watch that two gaps. Okay, because if we are going for a resale, we also must make sure that there are new launches in the surrounding that will pull up your resale prices. Okay, if in the resale surrounding, right, there's no new launches, then don't go for the resale. So this is how you use these gaps to actually help you to judge. All right. Overall, real estate in Singapore will definitely appreciate. Okay. However, as home buyers ourselves, we must know how to watch the market trend. Okay, so that we will always gain in the shortest time. Okay, because any property that you buy today, after 10 years, after 15 years, after 20 years, it will appreciate. But if you can gain in the shortest time, why not? Okay, just by using these two price gaps, okay, you will always gain in the shortest time frame. All right. Okay, so I've come to my end of my sharing. Okay, so if you want more, okay, I do update all this sharing onto our blog here. Okay, PropertyNet.SG property blog. You can also scan on the QR code, okay, to actually read up more. Okay, to see all the charts, it's all uploaded. And this recording over here, okay, will be uploaded to the YouTube channel as well. So if you want to watch a replay, okay, to see the trends, okay, to understand more, okay, you can watch all the video recordings over here. All right. And lastly, do follow our Facebook page. Okay, every updates will be posted there as well. Okay.